Good morning and welcome to Raw Vlog number 41. Raw Vlogs are recorded in front of a live steering wheel on my way to getting my coffee delivered straight from the camera to you, raw and unedited. Today's Raw Vlog is going to be all about Sedona Mountain Bike Festival. Hopefully you're not tired of hearing about it because that is what is on my mind. So dedicated to Sedona Mountain Bike Festival. Channel news, as you probably already guessed, upcoming episode is going to be about Sedona. I'm not really sure how I'm going to be cutting it together, if it's going to be one episode that covers all 3 days that I was there, or if I'm going to split that up. I definitely am going to be doing upcoming, I'm not sure if it'll be this week or next week, but there were a few tents that I visited that I found to be pretty cool. Got some quick interviews into there. We're also gonna do an update on the 510 Trail Cross. I got to demo that shoe at the festival, which was rad. We're gonna save a little bit of the festivals. We're gonna save festival talk for the main subject. Other channel news, I don't know if we'll be riding this weekend because it's kind of cloudy and rainy. It's supposed to be raining all week. It kind of didn't rain yesterday, but in the event that I don't get a ride in this weekend, who knows what'll happen. I might, yeah, this is not channel news, this is just life news. Do you really want to hear about my life? If you do, I'm gonna be down at the path this weekend at some point because I need to pick up a spare battery from my access driver seat post and just kind of look at some stuff. There's some Patagonia gear down there that I want to check out. I want to see if they have a jacket I'm looking for. This is stuff. Is this interesting? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Other channel news. We are quickly approaching 5,000 subscribers, so if you are a new subscriber, I welcome you aboard. I'm stoked to have you. If you're a sustaining subscriber, I don't know what else to call you. If you've been around for a while, if you're an OG, if you are a longtime supporter, thanks for sticking around. I will say, those of you who are into this raw vlog, just know that I have, at least for the next 10 episodes, this one included, have dedicated myself to sticking with the raw vlog. I regularly lose subscribers on these raw vlogs. This is like the one piece of content that I put out on the regular where I get negative numbers in my subscriber count. But I do it because there are a number of you who really enjoy these things. So I'm doing it for you. If you're not already subscribed, do check to see if you're subscribed because you are who I'm doing it for. So yeah, that's just kind of some of my channel updates. Quick recap in my head to see if there's any other channel updates. Not that I can think of. Yeah, so Sedona Mountain Bike Festival, let me just say, if you haven't gone, you should go. I've only been to one like mountain bike festival in my life. I feel like I'm ruined for any other mountain bike festival. This festival was so compact and so just dense with radness. There were like all the major brands were there. There were tons, like obviously everybody was a mountain biker. It was very bike friendly, like you saw a lot of people just cruising around on bikes. It was really easy to stop into any tent, to try stuff out, to ask about stuff. There was no race going on, so the stress levels were really low for the athletes that were there, so it was really easy to chat with an athlete. Or I didn't do this, but it seemed like it was really easy if you saw somebody going out for a ride that you could just like jump in on a ride with them. I couldn't really tell, but there was just a really mellow and welcoming energy in general. It seemed like the festival was really about mountain bikers connecting at whatever level, whether you were a top tier athlete, whether you were a famous YouTuber, and we'll get into that in a minute, the YouTuber segment of the festival, whether you're just have been mountain biking a long time, whether you're brand new to mountain biking, it didn't matter. There was just a general welcoming atmosphere in that place. It was really easy to connect. If you haven't been, and if, you know, whatever excuses you have for not going to the Sedona Mountain Bike Festival, put them by the wayside for one weekend and go. You've got a year to plan. Start planning now. We'll have the dates. If we don't already, we'll have the dates pretty soon when the next one is coming out. I'm already thinking about the next festival. I strongly recommend that you go to the Sedona Mountain Bike Festival. The interesting different community segments, and it wasn't that there was like separation, but you had the people that were industry people that were there making connections, people networking. You had the athletes that were there, and then you had the YouTubers. And this to me was, I really wish that I had kind of been, I wish I could get a snapshot of every Sedona Mountain Bike Festival since it's been going on and see how the dynamic has maybe changed. If you've been going for a while, let me know in the comments if you have any thoughts on this. But there was times when there was just a group of us YouTubers hanging out, and people would come and get selfies and come and chat with us, and that was really rad. I just it was weird because unpacking this right now, I'm seeing that I didn't really think about these things before going to the festival, but YouTubers, mountain bike YouTubers we're kind of a weird breed in that, like, not a lot of us, like most of us, are like maybe slightly better than average riders, but we're recognized. People want to take selfies. We're giving out stickers. People want to go on rides with us. And we don't operate, you know, most of us don't operate on the world stage. We're you know, some of us like have like pretty dang decent riding skills, at least compared to me. Like, I'm just okay. So I know most other YouTubers that I know are probably are better riders than me. But we're still not like freaking Richie Rude or Curtis Keene or any of those people. And we're just personalities, you know, and I know we're not just personalities. We are personalities. We're bringing you our stories. We're bringing you our passion. But in terms of on the athletic side, we're not that special. And I feel like there could easily be a kind of a rift in the community around that. And I think some of that is there. There's a little bit of that there, but I think most of that is, you're gonna trip out right now because I'm gonna actually change. No, never mind. Sorry, nothing to do with anything I was talking about. Brain fart. Okay, I do know that there are some in the industry, some in the community, a very, very small slice that kind of dislikes the mountain bike YouTubers because of that kind of lack of athletic thing, because they feel like we don't know what we're talking about, but we're going to talk about it anyway. I don't know about you, but like any YouTuber I've seen is very upfront about where they're at in terms of their knowledge, skill, experience, and we all have different levels. Anyway, point being, at the festival, I felt like there was just broad inclusion. There was space for everybody. There was as much respect and desire to talk to the pro athletes as there was to talk to YouTubers, and then just generally industry people. What I think is cool though is you're also, yeah, so that's kind of what I have to say about the YouTuber segment. We're a new segment in the mountain biking community, and the general acceptance is high. And those who are grumpy about it, I think, are just generally grumpy. I'm not gonna name any names, but you probably know who I'm talking about. Yeah, so moving on, it was also really rad to be able to talk directly to people who are responsible for the brands that you know and love and trust, or that you're skeptical of and aren't sure about. So you could go to a lot of the booths and you might find yourself talking to the owner of that company, the person who started it, and you can get like in-depth information. You can find out the whys and the hows and the why nots and the whens, sometimes the whens, because that's information that a lot of times they like to keep to themselves. But you can get also a really good feel for what that company is what they're about, what their culture is, and kind of detect their level of authenticity. And that, should we have another guest? Do you want a guest? No. Yeah? No? Sorry. I'll be in a minute. That Palmer's decided to step out for the day. Yeah, so that kind of thing about authenticity and connecting with those brands, you know, you can just kind of learn more. Going back to the YouTubers, these are people, right, that we see all the time on screen, and we get a feeling for who they are or who we think they are. And in pretty much every case that I can think of, every YouTuber that I interacted with at the Sedona Mountain Bike Festival, they are who you think they are. They are who, like, they're all very authentic. I hung out with Paul the Punter, I hung out with Shane the Crashing Dad, hung out with Trail Features, Joseph from Trail Features, hung out a little bit with Daily Mountain Bike Rider. Sorry for the noise in the background. There's some construction and stuff going on. But who else did I hang out with? I think that's most of it. There was probably a few others, but everybody, you know, was pretty much who they are. I know we all turn it up just a little bit for the camera, some of us more than others, but even that little turned up version of ourselves is who we are, who they are in real life. And so it's kind of cool because, you know, if you're watching those episodes and you meet that person, you already know them. Just know that they might not know you, though I did see everybody, like as I was hanging out with that crew, anybody that came up, everybody, all the fellow YouTubers were just welcoming to everybody. So do know, don't be shy, say hi. And I will even say there were some YouTubers who have a certain personality that when you kind of detect the other things that are maybe a little bit behind the curtain, you're probably right about those things too. Those things are all just as real. And I was just stoked that on day 3, I got to just hang out like pretty much the whole day with a number of fellow YouTubers and just kind of see how they operate and see how they go about things. And it was pretty much what I do. Like when I've gone to demos or other kind of things, I just kind of hang out and just be me and sometimes turn on the camera and have a good time. So let's talk about the riding for just a minute. I'm kind of getting close to that 15-minute mark. So the riding, the images will speak for themselves. You've seen the images, you've seen how beautiful it is, and just the experience, that terrain is amazing. I want to go back. It was the kind of terrain where I felt comfortable in like 80% of what I rode. I didn't ride like the super crazy trails, but I rode a decent amount of trails, and I felt comfortable on about 80% of it, and that other 20% I know I could go back and do. So there was enough left there for me to go back, and then I hopefully could step up to the other trails and then do an 80-20 on those trails. if you haven't gone, do go. If you're in Southern California, if you're a Southern California rider, do know that if you're riding most of the like known stuff around here, like Laguna, and if you know how to get to Greer Ranch, if you ride Greer, if you're riding any of our normal kind of like rocky and steep or just somewhat steep stuff, you will be somewhat prepared for Sedona trails in terms of that, the downhill portions. There's definitely more places where there's exposure. I haven't ridden Mount Wilson yet, and I get the feeling that if you're comfortable with Mount Wilson, you'll be just fine on Sedona trails. The difference is that it's a lot more what I would call, and don't let this put you off, but it's a lot more cross country in that you don't have these like long climbs and then long descents. There are some of those trails, but a lot of the trails, like for instance Slim Shady, that trail is very up and down, super fun, and yeah, but do know that there's a lot of places where you'll have to do like punchy climbs, punchy technical climbs, and you'll need to be ready to put down your power. So the ability to deal with your gear changes and dropper seat post management and technical climbing skills come in way handy in Sedona. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up because I can go on and on about it, and I'm gonna go on and on about it for the next couple of weeks. Let me know in the comments if you've been to Sedona and what your thoughts are, and any trails you think I should ride. I rode Hogs and I rode Slim Shady, and that was mostly what I rode. Also, a question for you: if you've ridden Slim Shady all the way down to like Templeton, give me a suggestion on like what's a good way to like turn that into a good loop. You'll probably see in the video coming up on Monday, like I don't know if I'll talk about it, but basically when we got to the end of Slim Shady, we really weren't sure like a good fun way to get back other than to go back up Slim Shady. So let me know your thoughts. Is that an out and back, that kind of thing. Hope you dug this video. If you did, hit that like button. Check to see if you're subscribed. If you're not, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next week.